This is good enough to join Scott Oake and Kevin Weeks. Let's get, without further ado, to Rexall Place. Scott.
Yes, Ron, pleased to welcome to After Hours a player who's been a revelation for the Oilers. I'm not sure a lot of Edmonton fans expected Ryan Jones to score 16 this year and threatened to break the 20-goal mark. Did you?
I'd be lying if I said that I didn't, but you know, I was just coming into the year. I wanted to take advantage of the opportunity that I was given, and you go to the net, funny things happen.
Okay, quickly, were you inspired by your appearance in After Hours tonight to start the game this way?
Well, it was just one of those things. I knew that you guys were going to be critiquing my game pretty heavily, so I figured, you know, I might as well come out hard and see what can happen.
No, you said critiquing, or do you mean pumping, like as in pumping your tires? Well, that's all we were doing all game long, since we knew we were going to have you as a guest. But this is a great way to start the game off. You know, obviously you're trying to get your teammates involved. And what kind of led to that? Did you and Johnson exchange anything? Did you guys know you wanted to go? Or?
Well, it's just one of those things. We were going up the wall right away, and I thought he took a little bit of a run at me, and I heard the stick hit the ice, so I thought he wanted to go. I turned around, and maybe he did, maybe he didn't, but we went anyways.
Hey, it's not a common sight for you. I think that's just the second fight of your career, isn't it?
Yep. In the NHL, I got
it's
the
in your
first one
wheelhouse,
out of.
though.
Yeah, you know, it's just one of those things. You got to pick the right opportunity, and 11 seconds into the game, 0-0 seems like a pretty good one for me.
All right, let's get right to the important stuff. This is a tweet from Weird is Awesomer. Going to have to work on that handle, but the question is, what kind of shampoo are you using? You can't believe of all the questions that I got, and Kevin as well, on our Blackberries for you, I'd say 90% were about your hair.
It's funny, somebody asked me that before, and it's whatever's in the dispenser in the shower.
Yeah.
It's not great stuff, and it's kind of oily, but it works.
Well, let me ask you, who's your agent, if you don't mind me asking?
Wade Arnott.
Okay, Wade Arnott. Yeah, know him. So you got to get on the horn with him. Tell you get a Pert Plus deal.
Shampoo endorsement.
You got to get a shampoo deal. You got maybe, you know.
The only problem is once you get one, you can't cut it.
Yeah, that's true.
I want to be able to cut it at some point.
Okay, Ovechkin got the Gillette deal, right?
Yeah, he did. You're right.
Ovechkin got the Gillette deal, and he was always unshaven.
Look at us now, working hard to try to get you an endorsement.
60 goals probably helped that.
Your hair and the length of it comes in for a lot of discussion, but it didn't get to that length on a whim, and there actually is a moving story behind how it did. So let's hear it.
Well, when I was at school, it was my junior year. One of my wife's friends said that I should check out a blog for a young girl who had cancer. And so I went on, and she was having kind of a hair marathon. People were going to shave their heads. Whoever could donate it would. And so I started following her, got to know her a little bit, and I told her that at the end of the year,
Corinne Krogan, right?
Corinne Krogan.
13 years of age.
Yep. At the end of the year, I would donate my hair if it was long enough. Well, at the end of the year, it wasn't long enough, so I had to grow it a whole nother year. And if you see pictures from my senior year, you can't even see my name bar. It's just so long, it covers up the name bar. So then I left for Houston when I signed with Minnesota, and I cut it. It was about 16 inches, and I was pretty pumped.
Wow, that's a great story, though. That's a good backstory.
You ever get mistaken for Jack White of White Stripes fame?
Somebody mentioned that in the room not that long ago.
Really?
I'm way better looking than that guy.
You are. You don't look as sinister as him either. You know, you got that.
White Stripes, for those less hip than me, was Jack and Meg White, who had a number of critically acclaimed albums. They just disbanded, I think, in February. But Jack White's one of the greatest guitarists of all time. So
yeah, I got no idea who they are.
Okay, well, I'm
thanks for
trying to educate you. Go ahead, Kevin.
So let's talk a little bit about you started with Nashville.
Yep.
What was it like when you first came to the league and your experience with the Predators?
I was a little shell-shocked at first, like any kid coming in. I left college and I didn't realize how big of a jump it was going to be, and I knew that my game was just going to involve a lot of working hard, being gritty, staying around the front of the net, kind of much the same as it is now. But I didn't play with a whole lot of confidence when I first came in. And, I just got the opportunity to come here and, blossom to where I am right now.
Well, let's address your current situation with the Oilers versus where you were a year ago, and that was waived by Nashville. And a lot of people see how well you're playing with the Oilers compared to being waived is a big deal. But I got the sense from talking to you 2 weeks ago tonight after the Oilers beat the Avalanche in Colorado that you don't see it as that big a deal. Am I right?
No, to me, it was one of those things. It was an opportunity. And when you go on waivers, I had no idea what to expect. It was it was one of those situations where I looked at the roster and you realize that they're going to start bringing people in, and so there's going to be moves made. But you just embrace every opportunity that you're given, and that's all that I've done here.
That's a great outlook. That's a good outlook. What about Miami of Ohio? Your guys obviously won the CCHA today, the Mason Cup at Joe Louis Arena for a lot of our viewers. But talk a little bit about the brotherhood. I know that's what they call it. A lot of my friends have played there. I know Rico Blasi very well. Talk to us about your experience at Miami of Ohio.
Well, the funny thing about Miami is they have this culture where it doesn't matter where you are on the team, you're a part of something bigger. And it's not just in the dressing room, it's the community, it's in the school, and they build character at the school. And that was the one thing that I noticed when I went down there on my recruiting trip. And the guys are great in the community, and in turn the community is great to the team. They support the team very well, and we started to have some success when I was there, and they built it. Their first Mason Cup this year, which is huge. So now we just need a national championship.
Yeah, that's
well, you had 4 years there. You could have left after your junior year to pursue pro hockey because the Minnesota Wild had long since drafted you, but you elected to go back to get your degree, and you got it in sports studies with a minor in kinesiology, right?
Sports studies, minor in business management.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, kinesiology. How would that relate to sports studies? Anyway, the question is this. Does that degree make you the smartest man in the Oiler room?
Book smart, maybe.
What about street smarts? Life smarts, who's the smartest guy on the team, would you say?
Jason Strudwick, who's going to be on later, that he's lived a long time, so he knows his way around.
Yeah.
Minnesota traded you to Nashville, and while you were with Nashville, you lived with Jason Arnott, and your house caught fire. So we're all about stories on this show, and that's got to be a good one.
Yeah, I take no blame for that whatsoever. That was not my fault. I lived downstairs. There was a barbecue on the main floor, and something happened, and it was on fire, and I just remember the alarm going off. And when I woke up, I was thinking, I hope I didn't leave a door open, and that's the alarm going off because the whole family's awake, and it's my fault. So I run upstairs, and Arnie's just laps around the house yelling fire, and he had put his son Chase outside, and it didn't take me very long to run outside. I was gone.
Now, that's not the right end of the story. The right end is you ran into the burning house and suffered through the smoke and rescued everybody.
No, Arnie had already done that.
Oh, okay. Good.
So, and in fact, there was a mouse in the house the day before, and he had put a trap down.
Yeah.
And on his way out of the house, he actually jumped out of the house and yelled at me on the street that he's like, "Jonesy, we got the mouse," while his house was on fire. So,
Oh, man.
You're big on Twitter. Jones RY28 your handle, right? So we'll let Jeff Pegg is his handle ask the question, and it's about Twitter and your perspective on interacting with fans in this medium. How do you feel about it?
Well, it has a positive and negatives. Obviously, there's no filter on there. When you lose a game, if you don't play a good game, it's a free-for-all on there. And actually, the Edmonton fans are great. They're very supportive, and it's just fun interacting with the fans, hearing what they have to say, and just seeing that we're real people. We just down-to-earth guys. We like to hunt, and we like to eat fast food and watch TV, play video games, and it's just fun to give them that side of the hockey player.
How many followers do you have?
Little over 13,000, and I need 20,000.
If you get to 20, you'll do what?
I'm going to donate $5,000 to a local charity.
Excellent.
How
Excellent.
How many do you have?
27, 26
Wow.
and change.
Hook me up.
Yeah, I get, you know what? I'll hook you up. I'll hook you up. I'll give you a mention. Don't worry.
On
We'll
that-
start following this guy. 'Cause
Yeah,
he's got a
we
great
have hundreds
initiative.
of viewers on
He's
this
got a
program,
great
so the mere
initiative.
mention of Twitter on
Yes.
this show should put you right over the
Nice.
20,000. But a couple of your teammates say that you should be really embarrassed over the fact that Taylor Hall and Ryan Whitney opened up Twitter accounts and zoomed to well over 20,000 followers almost instantly, and you're on this program now begging to get to 20.
Nope, not true.
It's not true?
Taylor Hall has a little over 14,000. See, I looked this stuff up. Taylor
Tell
Hall
him
is a
you've got your
little over
degree.
14,000, and Witter is around 13. And I announced that they were on there, so obviously I don't care if they have more.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm embracing this whole Twitter community.
Nice.
Fair enough. You're tailor-made for it. Ryan Jones of the Oilers, our guest on After Hours. Jason Strudwick will step in to straighten him out, and maybe us as well, when we return to Rexall Place. Back at Rexall Place in Edmonton, where Colorado wins 3-2 in a shootout tonight. Jason Strudwick has joined us along with Ryan Jones, and Jason was hot this morning at the skate with a big goal that got everybody's attention, and the stick was taken immediately to the room to be saved for tonight's game. Why, Jason? Because there was a goal in it, or what?
Well, yeah, I did score, but you guys are acting so surprised that I score. A lot of times I do when no one's watching, so maybe we should watch more often.
We actually got you the puck for your first goal, too, so we might have threw it on the bench.
Well, listen, let's start off with a highly intelligent tweet from Creme Brulee 67. That's Amanda from Alberta. I know, Jason, you're a karaoke expert. Who would you choose on the team to be your karaoke partner, and what would you sing?
Well, I'm big in duets. I've done a lot of duets, and probably maybe a Neil Diamond song, Bring Me Flowers.
Yeah.
And I'd probably have someone with a high-pitched voice, so maybe Maggie or Linus Olmark. They have a higher range, so that would be like those alto ranges, and they'd be good, I think.
Any rookie party yet?
No, we haven't had a chance.
So maybe you might want to recruit them for that then.
Yeah. I mean,
for the vocals.
Well, I don't want to steal their thunder. They can sing on their own at that point.
Ryan, we've heard that no one in the Oiler room gets the better of Jason when it comes to chirping. So, are you willing to admit on this program that Jason is the chirping champion of the Oilers?
He's classy when he does it. There's some guys in the locker room that are a little more harsh, but he definitely is. I'd say top two. Ladislav Schmid, he's pretty persistent in what he does. So
what's Jason get most of the shots over?
Against him or
no? When he's taking them.
Yeah, a lot of guys go after my hair. They think I'm going bald, which I may or may not be. I don't agree.
No, but you know what?
But I mean, I have a lot of other nice attributes. But the hair, it happens to the best of us. So
Tonight's show, this program has a big focus on hair, obviously, especially with your man right here.
Look
so
at
both you guys, we got a lot of questions on Twitter.
Yeah.
A lot of guys want to know about the hair. Scott and I asked him about an endorsement deal, maybe Head and Shoulders, the new Old Spice hair product,
like,
something, Axe, I don't know.
Like Polamalu or whatever, Troy Polamalu.
Yeah, Troy Polamalu.
Yeah, I think he'd be great.
You roomed with Tom Gilbert last year, and he told me this morning his biggest challenge was to get you to have dinner after 7 o'clock because you always wanted to go for the early bird special.
You know what? I do like to eat early. I mean, what's wrong with that? It's 6 o'clock, beat the rush, get home for a movie.
Nice. Fair enough. On a serious note, when you've got a room full of young players and you're losing a lot, which would describe the Oilers' current circumstances, it can be a difficult, if not an ugly situation. But the Oiler room this year, we're given to understand, is anything but a black hole of despair, and some of that has to do with you. Do you take it upon yourself to try to lighten the mood at the right time?
Well, thanks, Scott. I don't think it's just me. There's a lot of guys in the room that are really quite funny and upbeat. But, personally, I do like to have a good time. I like to mix in with the guys. And, I like to give the guys a hard time, but nothing too harsh. I think for the most part I'm pretty fair, Jonesy.
Yeah, you were laughing when I asked the question, so you want to jump in on this?
No,
he's quiet now.
Struddy, I'd say you're the ringleader for sure.
Yeah.
There's not many other guys that can start the jabs like you. The best part is they're always usually aimed across the room, so I'm on the same side as Struddy. I just get to witness the whole thing. I'm out of his sight, so he starts going, I lean back in my stall a little bit.
Now, what are some of the things you joke around with a lot of these young players? You guys have so many young guys in your team. Yeah. What video games? What do you chirp them on usually?
Not really. I mean, we just try to keep them loose, and a lot of times, sometimes the choice of clothing. Now, I'm not a great dresser, but sometimes the choice of clothing is definitely something we come after.
Nice.
Let's get that picture, Tim, of Jason warming up. Ryan, do you find it odd that Jason likes to warm up in solitude in the weirdest of places sometimes, like in the shower? I think we don't have it, but we had a picture of him earlier tonight warming up in the shower in Anaheim.
Yeah, that's not surprising at all. Struddy strikes me as a guy. I walked into the bathroom and he was sitting there stretching right in front of the hot tub. So apparently he just pulls it off wherever he can.
Yeah, I like my quiet time and get ready in a quiet area, so it works well.
Jason Strudwick, Ryan Jones with us. We'll have time for one more brief segment when we continue with After Hours Live from Rexall Place in Edmonton. Well, we're racing on After Hours now because if you were watching earlier, you saw the game go to a shootout, and we hate it when the game gets in the way of this program. Jason, on a board earlier this season in the Oiler room, the players wrote down what they thought they might be doing if they weren't playing hockey. Vandermeer said he'd be a firefighter. Cogliano said professional golfer. You said you'd like to own a Dairy Queen.
Yeah, why not? It's very simple. I mean, I believe in the product. I love ice cream. Who doesn't love ice cream? And I mean, not that I have a lot of blizzards. I think Jonesy, from what I can tell, has a lot more than I have.
And final question is all we have time for. Would you ever take, because you're a big hunter, would you ever take Jason Strudwick hunting?
Definitely not. I know how stealthy this guy is, and I scare enough away, and I don't need him helping scare stuff away.
Wish we had more time. Ryan Jones, Jason Strudwick, our guests on After Hours. Thank you both for your time.
Guys.
Greatly
Thanks,
appreciate it.
Thank you.